So in letter 50, Seneca is bringing up this theme of we might call improving oneself's life, or to make some changes, uh, and so to become a person that you know ha or has developed some good things in life, you might call it. And let's see here. He begins saying um, that he says that see here, what other endeavor do you have than to make yourself a better person each day, to lay aside some error, to come to understand that what you think are flaws in your situations are in fact flaw in yourself. So here it gets a bit interesting, because Seneca is not saying, hey, 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 Fran, whatever situation you are in, that makes you live in the way that you do, which I think is a bit just idle, or you don't maybe make so much out of life. uh, I'm not saying that you should, for example, um, do something about what, you might ask. So things like complaining, although he doesn't uses this word. Uh, and so instead of you know these sort of things, Seneca is bringing up, oh, friend, you perhaps need to have a look in what's going on inside yourself, right? And he goes on telling us a blind person, whose name is, by the way, Harpaste, and he's living or staying at Seneca's, and they sort of have him to some degree, and so on. And so what the blind person says is that, let's see here, he says that the apartment is not lit, or well lit, and so he wants to switch. And it gets a bit interesting, because if you are blind, how do you know that it is not well lit? Um, right? And Seneca, he's saying that, or essentially, meaning that, are blind the ones to demand things? And why does he, have that attitude, you might ask? Because he goes on saying that the blind person, um, um, you know, request a guide. Um, unlike those that just make up excuses. He says that, here we go. It's not that I am ambitious. This is just how one has to live at Rome. It is not that I overspend. It is just that city living demands certain expenditures. It is not my fault that I am prone to anger, that I do not yet have any plan of life, or settled plan of life. This is just a young person does. So notice he's giving all sorts of examples of excuses. Whenever a person gets questioned, like, hey buddy, aren't you going to make some changes in some parts in your life. And let's see here. And the interesting here is that what impact whether one chooses or not to use of excuses have, to do something about one's circumstances. It has to do much, because he goes on and tells us about, let me see here if I can get it right. He says that it is difficult to guide us back into our natural path. It is only because we have deserted it. We blush to learn excellency of mind, but for heaven's sake, is there any shame in seeking instruction in so great a good? So what he says is that there are a natural path that we should pursue on, and you might go on asking, like, what natural path? What are we talking about here? Notice that Seneca is one of his, some people call him an eclectic, but he's also a Stoic. Studied it, by the way. And what Stoic is talking about, among Stoics, is this notion about virtue, and or you can think of, like virtue, and how is it that we are going to, get closer to virtue, or so it can bring us closer to nature, because another thing is that you want to be, closer to nature, because that's what they think a good life, consists of, living in accordance, according to virtue, as well as one's nature, something that you can acquire, they believed. And he's going to go inside this, one's mind. He says that nor is the condition to be treated of recent onset. If it were, the matter would be relatively simple. The doctor would show the right way, and our minds, still young and impressionable, would follow. And it goes on saying that once we acquire our so-called way of doing things, when we learn the excellency of mind, we have it there, so we can use it, and it stays with you, you can say, or as he himself puts it, that that virtues once attained cannot depart from us, and keeping them is easy. So also it is arduous to begin attaining them. So what we need to do is to be able to say that I am going to put my energy into this, and also to that particular thing that we are focusing to go through, and so develop good habits, or in particular in this section he doesn't mention the word habit, but he touches, we might call habit, and another thing interesting is that he brings up that, in this section of the text, that, you know, uh, I have vices, right? And as long as I don't, do something about it, or another way of putting it, the meaning, if I don't, seek out the good things that I can take into and, do something of it, I might, still have vices. Um, there he says that it is true that we are now inhabited by vice and have been so far for a long time, but this does not mean, dear Lucullus, that you should give up hope. No one acquires an excellent mind without first having a bad one. All of us have been taking over already, and to learn virtue is to unlearn one's faults. So, and we might think of, it is okay, it is fine, or, take it easy if you know that you already have faults. But what he thinks here is that you should, be able to even focusing on the things we mentioned earlier, right? And he essentially gives many good examples a bit here and there. For example, when he's talking specifically about the mind, he's comparing with a supple liquid that it can like our minds, and how we would like to do something of our mind, change a bit here and there, and so can a water be change, or liquid change form, according to whatever is it that we want, to a new form, he says. And he also gives about like a medicine. Whenever you takes a medicine, and so to get better, the first time, or probably when we are a child, we remembering that some medicine tastes like like strawberry. Oh, that's good. But then there are some medicine that tastes, herb and sort of things that we don't, want to lick, or swell down. And Seneca says that, you should probably go on, trying that stuff. Maybe first time you are going to don't like it. You're going to think it as bitter, as he says. But then the times after it, gets to do its effect. The word he uses, and and as you get better, the word he uses is when you get healed. So you are feeling some sort of pleasure. Oh, I like this effect. Oh, I am going to take my first times of medicine, and so on, right? And so it's that's another interesting thing that he brings particular in this letter, about improving oneself, and so on and so forth.